Grindset. Inside the mind of successful entrepreneurs with your host, Cynthia Daniels and Williams Brack.
I think sometimes we overplan things and that can kind of cause a delay or setback. But I would definitely say dive in, get your name started, get your website up, get your business cards.
But you're going to learn from a lot of amazing people what kind of pitfalls that they have, the challenges, but what really made them successful, what made them keep going.
Grindset.
So many people that want to jump into the construction business and they don't have a clue about what the business aspect calls for.
Welcome back to another episode of Grindset, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I'm your host, Cynthia Daniels, Chief Event Strategist of Cynthia Daniels & Company.
And I'm your co-host, Williams Brack, Asset-Based Lender at First Tennessee Bank.
So today we have a really interesting show. We have twin brothers on the show, Jonathan and Jarrett Logan. They are the co-founders of Castle Black Incorporated.
Now, my first recognition of Castle Black was at your 40 Under 40 event where they got awarded.
Right. They're doing some amazing things.
And this morning on my way to work, I'm starting to see Castle Black construction signs all over the city. So these guys have to be doing well. And I'm looking forward to interviewing them.
And what's really cool is that Castle Black is going to be one of the city's leading minority commercial contractors. We're going to definitely have a lot of fun with these guys today.
And we'll be right back with Jonathan and Jarrett Logan of Castle Black Construction right after the break.
Grindset on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Black Nerd Power. My name is Richard Douglas Jones. I'm one of the hosts for Black Nerd Power. Who am I? I'm a stand-up comic. You may have seen me on Comedy Central on the LOL Network. Black Nerd Power. I've been living this nerd life for a long time, like comic books and movies and all that other stuff. That's who we are. Just come hang out with us, man. Just geek out a little bit. It's okay. We won't tell. Black Nerd Power. And if you're a black nerd, you've had to hide that for most of your life. Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Hola, me llamo Alexandra Matlock y soy la gerente general de Contigo Creative. Ustedes están escuchando Grindset, que está presentado por KUDZUKIAN Network.
As promised, we are so excited to have Jonathan and Jarrett Logan, co-founders of Castle Black Construction, in the studio with us. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Outstanding.
Welcome, fellas.
We appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. And I'm sure we don't want to confuse anybody listening. We do have identical twins in the building. You can't see them, but they may talk over each other. They tend to have that little ESP going on. So we're just going to jump right into this interview. I'm really interested in hearing, how did your company start about? And did you all know at a young age that you wanted to do construction and that you even wanted to work together as brothers?
Well, hold on. First of all, look. I know everybody keeps saying that we are identical twins, which we are. Yes. But I know y'all can tell that I've had one too many more donuts than Jared has.
Only two?
Wow. We're nice to our
more
guests.
Like 5 or 6.
Jonathan,
Don't worry, I'm right with you, so I can't.
Right.
And see, that was Jonathan. Jonathan's the president, so presidents get to have extra donuts. If that's what it is.
It's true.
Okay.
Probably so. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But how do we get started? Jonathan and I went to Jackson State University, and we got
shout out to JSU.
Shout out to JSU. Southern Heritage Classic coming up.
Okay.
We were fortunate enough to gain interns as a freshman with IMS Engineers, one of the largest one of the largest engineering companies in the state of Mississippi, if not the country. Shout out to Dr. John Calhoun and Rod Hill for giving us that opportunity, because they really sparked an interest in us to want to go further in the construction industry. But we worked for those guys throughout our college tenure.
Okay.
And after we graduated, we both came back home here in Memphis, worked for architects, and at that time is when the housing market was actually booming.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And what we would do on the side is, while doing construction documents for these architects that we were working for, we would moonlight on the side designing homes.
That's that hustle. I love it.
Yeah, we were moonlight on the side designing homes. And it's one thing to know how to design a home on paper.
Okay.
It's a totally different thing to know how to build it.
Okay.
And know how to build it and make a profit is the main thing.
Okay.
So what we ended up doing was there was this one builder that was building a lot of huge homes out in like Outer Branch, Eads, Collierville area. We linked up with this guy and we pitched to him that, hey, if you teach us everything you know about building, we'll design all your custom homes free.
Wow.
And so we just tagged along with this guy. He would meet different customers and clients that wanted custom homes built, large homes, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 square foot homes. And we would design those homes. And he would build them, but we would tag along with him to his meetings. And, we would ask him tons of questions and learn the business of building.
That's so smart. I love that you did that.
Yeah. So now we're good at designing homes, and now we're actually learning the business of construction with this guy. It got to a point where we were ready to take the contractor's exam. Jonathan went and took the contractor's exam, obtained the license, and we started Jonathan Jarrett Incorporated back in 2005. And we
started building houses.
So you're listening to Grindset, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and Jarrett just gave us an amazing look into how the construction company came about. I love that your company started as Jonathan Jarrett Incorporated, but kind of walk us through how it turned into Castle Black Construction. Like, where did that rebranding come from? I'd love to even hear that story.
Sure. So back in 2013, I would kind of need to give the backstory, but I'll give the short
take your time.
version.
Take your time.
So
we want to hear Jonathan speak. We just heard from Jarrett, so go ahead.
So Jarrett kind of gave you how we got started, and of course, we started building houses. But of course, we all know what happened in 2008 and 2009. The economy took a big tank.
Absolutely.
And so did Jonathan Jarrett Inc. So we fell into a position where we had to make some very strong and difficult decisions. So we took the decision in 2009 where we would kind of scale back the company. We pretty much scaled it all the way back, but we didn't dissolve the company. But during that time, in between 2009 and 2013, is kind of where the business took a big drastic scale back. And Jerry and I went and we actually did went our own go our own way. And started doing separate things. Jarrett was here in Memphis. He was still doing things on the side, doing little small projects, and he was teaching. But in 2009, I made the decision to go to the Army.
Wow.
So, I made that decision based off of, my family, and everything. So
you got to eat.
You got to adapt.
Exactly.
As an entrepreneur, you have to adapt.
So I made a strategic plan. I studied and everything. And I figured out that I could go to the Army and do the same thing for the Army that I was doing back home, and that's building. So I became a engineer officer in the Army, and I did about 4.5 years active duty Army.
That's valuable experience too.
Exactly. And man, I learned so much, not just about, building, but just about myself personally. So I did that time. And then I came back home, and Jared and I sat down and we talked and everything. And we wanted to go back into the business, but we wanted to take it in a different direction. We wanted to do something different. We noticed that there was a big growth in the commercial space. So we decided to pretty much reboot the company, but we wanted to do it under a different brand and a different name. So we are big Game of Thrones fans. Jared and I,
I am too.
Jared and I
I don't know anything about that, so help us understand.
You don't know anything about Game.
You hear this nonsense?
I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have time for TV.
So I'm going to challenge you in whatever little downtime you have to watch Game of Thrones.
Got it.
You have to.
I put on my list. I got
it's over now, so you can binge watch. No excuses.
Exactly.
Okay, Jared.
but kind of what happened was we just threw out a lot of different names, and it's just nothing would stick. And being fans, we would watch the show a lot, and one day it just hit us. Castle Black is a strong name.
Yeah.
Castle Black. And if you watch the show, you know Castle Black is like it's the place where the strong go.
Okay.
And
kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You go to no. Okay.
Well, no. So Castle Black is really a place where I wouldn't say the strong go.
What do you say, Jared?
I say Castle Black is where a lot of outcasts go. It's where
I know outcasts.
Hold on.
But you have to be a strong outcast.
Is that where Andre and Big Boy go?
But exactly, Jonathan hit it on the head.
Okay,
you have to be a strong outcast to survive in Castle Black.
Now I'm following you, fellas. I love it.
So if you ever watch Game of Thrones, you would know why Castle Black is named Castle Black.
I love it. Okay, now I gotta watch it. I need to know what you're talking about. I love it.
So that's how we came up with the name Castle Black. But if you see, we have a lion as the logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the logo represents strength. But again, we were watching TV, a movie.
You're inspired a lot.
So if y'all ever heard of the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes. I know that one well.
Look at their logo.
Okay.
Oakmont Stratton is Odin Stratton Oakmont something
Stratton
like
that.
Yeah. Check out that Stratton Oakmont. Check out that Stratton Oakmont logo, and you will see that
it's very similar. It's pretty similar.
That's awesome. And thanks, guys, for sharing your origin story with us. And when we come back after the break, we're going to talk about your journey to become one of the largest GCs in Tennessee, or maybe even the country. You're listening to Grindset, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we'll be right back after the break.
The Chairman's Perspective.
Hi, this is Lee Eric Smith. Let's take a look inside Shelby County government as we unleash some of the views of our very own Chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Van Turner. The Chairman's Perspective on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, KUDZUKIAN.com, or your favorite podcast provider.
The Chairman's Perspective on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN!
What's up, people? I'm Jonathan Logan.
And I'm Jarrett Logan, and we are the co-founders of Castle Black Incorporated.
We invite you to check out Grindset with our friends, Cynthia and Brack,
at KUDZUKIAN.com or by downloading the KUDZUKIAN app in the App Store or Google Play.
Welcome back to Grindset. We're here with Jared and Jonathan Logan of Castle Black Construction. Shout out to Game of Thrones. Stratton Oakmont.
You learn something new every day.
So we want to talk about the number one issue with starting a construction or GC company, and that's bonding, right? The initial bonding, and then growing your bonding to be able to take on big projects. Right. So talk about your process in the initial bonding process, and then your journey to kind of get into big bond size.
Okay. So I like to take a quick second first and educate the audience on specifically what type of bonding you're talking about.
Please
educate me too.
Me too.
There's a lot of different bonding out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I know we see people riding around their cars that say licensed, insured, bonded, and people ask, are you bonded? Well, I can say yes, but do you really know what bonded is?
Right.
There's different types of bonds. There's a license bond.
Yep.
There's a payment and performance bond. There's a contract bond.
There's a bid bond.
Okay. There's all types of bonds.
Sounds like a lot of barriers to getting into business.
Right.
Well, all of those don't apply to the business, but that's just an example of what,
Yeah, so again, there's an array of types of bonds. So, don't get it twisted. So when it specifically comes to the construction industry and specifically the commercial space, especially when it comes to government projects, you're going to have a payment and performance bond.
Yep.
And what that payment and performance bond is kind of like, honestly, it's the same thing that people get when they go and bond somebody out of jail.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is. It's the exact same thing.
If you can't get the job done, it's a guarantee that the job is going to get finished no matter what.
Exactly. So,
welcome back to Grindset. We're here with Kelly Dobbins.
That if you don't pay your subcontractors, if you don't finish the project, then that bonding company or that surety is going to step in and finish your project, and the surety will come after the general contractor for their money. just like a bail bondsman, when somebody skips bond, they send out a bounty hunter. Exact same thing.
So you got insurance companies out here being bounty hunters now.
Exactly. So that's exactly what the payment.
In a nutshell, that's all it is.
So the way that it works is, and I can go longer than the time we have maybe to talk about this, but essentially we have to, when we bid a project, we have to put up a bid bond.
Yep.
And that's just essentially saying that based on the number that I'm giving you, I'm going to sign a contract for it.
Yep.
And so if you don't agree to sign that contract, anything below federal space is 5%. When you get into the federal space, it's a 10% bid bond. So if you don't sign that contract, if they want to award you that job and you don't agree to sign it, then they can come after you for 5% of your bid.
So
wow.
What's 10% of $1 billion?
A lot
of money.
So if you bid on the 10%, $1 billion federal job,
right?
You got to put 10% down in order to take that.
Right.
Well,
to bid on it.
No. So
get them right, Jarrett.
So I don't have to put 10% cash down. No,
okay.
No. I just have to be bondable for that amount. Go ahead, John.
But then you got to get bondable for that amount, right?
So just like the bail bondsman or the bondsman that's on Carter Street from Poplar, they gonna give the owner a sheet of paper that's saying, "Hey, I will back this person that they'll sign that they won't skip on you."
Yep.
Okay.
But if they skip, then bonding company, where's my money?
You know, here on Grindset, we're getting a real detailed bonding. And this is important for people who want to get into this space, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I see so many people that want to jump into the construction business and they don't have a clue about what the business aspect calls for. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're talking about a bid bond. What's that? What's after that?
So once you submit that bid bond and you are awarded the contract, you have to put up what's called a payment and performance bond. And they're just saying that, hey, I'm going to pay my subcontractors. If you went over your budget, you still got to pay that.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to pay my subcontractors, and the performance simply says that I'm going to perform the job. I'm going to finish the project. I'm not going to walk away from the job. And so that's the owner's insurance. It assures them that their project is going to get done for that amount of money.
Okay.
But what's the cash aspect of bonding, right?
So how you get bonded is you have to have capital. You have to have working capital. You have to your net worth and your working capital, pretty much your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement has to be say that you're worth something.
Okay.
And typically bonding company, they will give you 10%. They will bond you 10 times your net worth.
Okay.
So they'll bond you up. They'll bond you up to that limit typically.
So $100,000 they'll bond you for $1 million. $1 million they'll bond you for $10 million.
Right.
So forth and so on.
Exactly. So that's how that typically works. And now there's always caveats to it and everything, and some people get away with more or less.
Google it if you want to understand the caveats.
Yeah. And so typically, you know, so when you're getting started out, you can expect a bond rate of about 3% of your bid. So that's what it typically is. That's what it's going to cost. That's your payment to the bonding company. Now the owner pays for that. That's a part of their bid.
Do you get that money back?
No, that's what the owner pays you to pay the bonding company.
So you got to pay just to make money, essentially.
Right.
Basically.
Wow.
Right. So you have to build that into your bid.
That's okay.
Right.
You got to project that.
Right. So because each bond is project specific, it's not a blanket bond.
Got it.
So each bond is for each project. And so that's pretty much how that works.
And so basically how we come up with that cost is, I'm not going to, give details about how we do it, but
yeah,
we can't give away the secret.
In that sense, you got a spreadsheet, you're doing all your tallies of what the construction is at the bottom. You got the bonding company's percentage at the bottom. As you're tallying up, that bond rate where the bond cost increases.
Now.
And so you add that to the bottom line.
One important factor is that, so I said that typically when you're starting out, it's about 3%, but as you grow and you get bigger, that rate comes down. I've seen the rate as low as 0.5%.
As you perform, right?
Right. As you perform and you grow, but when you start out, you can expect about 3% bond rate. Okay.
I'm telling you guys, that's very helpful, because when you look at the construction industry, you're like, what the hell do these guys do?
Right.
But it's really, when you talk about bonding and making sure you have money to pay people and money to perform jobs, it gets capital intensive really quick.
Really quick.
And so with capital intensive businesses, you're talking about ways to finance that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so when we get back, we're going to talk about financing. Are you using banks? Are you using other alternative forms of financing? Mm-hmm. And so we'll go dive deep into that. You're listening to Grindset, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we'll be right back.
Black Nerd Power.
My name is Richard Douglas Jones. I'm one of the hosts for Black Nerd Power. Who am I? I'm a stand-up comic. You may have seen me on Comedy Central, the LOL Network.
Black Nerd Power.
I've been living this nerd life for a long time, like comic books and movies and all that other stuff. That's who we are. Just come hang out with us, man. Just geek out a little bit. It's okay. We won't tell.
Black Nerd Power.
And if you're a black nerd, you've had to hide that for most of your life. Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN! Grindset on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
The Chairman's Perspective.
Hi, this is Lee Eric Smith. Let's take a look inside Shelby County government as we unleash some of the views of our very own chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Van Turner. The Chairman's Perspective on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, KUDZUKIAN.com, or your favorite podcast provider.
The Chairman's Perspective on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN!
Welcome back to Grindset. We're here with Jarrett and Jonathan Logan of Castle Black Construction, and they just gave us the 101 on bonding. And so, from my understanding, it just sounds like that takes a lot of money. And so either you have extremely deep pockets because you were rich, or you're going out finding a way to finance these deals and figure out how to get working capital, how to get cash, how to qualify for bondings, and how to get the job done. So talk about your process in dealing with capital and money over the course of your business.
All right. So
go ahead, Jerry.
So I want to address the notion that you said, because I want to clear the air. Jarrett and Jonathan Logan never had deep pockets.
Okay,
never. We grew up in Westwood.
Shout out to Westwood.
Lived in Lakeview Garden. Had a single mother. Grew up on a fixed income. Never had a pair of Nikes till I got to college, and my girlfriend bought me 2 pair.
Yeah, I got on Nikes now, though.
I got on Nikes now, definitely, definitely. But this construction company was financed by Jarrett and Jonathan Logan with all the money that we had off credit cards and off prayer. Nobody gave us money.
Look at God.
Not even banks.
Right.
Wow.
Banks didn't give us any money.
Wow.
So
that's the startup. So I mean, that's justified.
Castle Black, Jonathan Jarrett Incorporated was funded off of blood, sweat, and tears off the brows of Jonathan and Jarrett Logan and those that love us.
Fair enough.
Right. So as Jarrett was saying, pretty much, you have to have cash. Cash is king.
Yep.
Cash is king. But beyond that, what the bonding company look at and what they really applaud is if you have some form of a line of credit with a bank. So even if you don't have that much liquid cash money in the bank, if you can get a bank to give you a line of credit, they calculate that into your working capital.
That's important to know.
Net worth. So, one of the biggest things that I would, advise people is, don't jump too big too fast.
Yeah.
Right.
There was some advice that was given to us a while back, and I tell you, like it has, it is great advice. Just don't jump too fast because, I'll just say this, especially when it comes to managing your money, managing your cash flow. If you sit here and you take on $1 million in one project and you screw up on that project, that can ruin you.
Right.
But if you have 4 or 5 projects that equal up to that $1 million. You can mess up on one project, and it may not hurt you as bad.
Right.
So you have to manage what you decide to take on. Don't take on too much too fast, and just manage your cash flow, because cash is king. And guys and girls that's out there listening, like, this industry is very, very tough. You know, I think when we were off segment, you know, we kind of asked how do we manage paying people. Like, the industry now has moved to what we call pay when paid. I know way back when, you know, people would say, hey, look, you know, I'm going to do this job for you, but I want you to pay me in a week, or I want you to pay me when I'm finished.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way it works now. Those days are gone.
Okay.
And so this is why it's important to manage your cash flow.
Right.
You know, because if you got to wait 30 days to get paid, you know, you still have people to pay. You have bills. You have
payroll.
Overhead.
Right.
You know, so these contracts now are structured on pay when pay, which simply means that in my contract, I don't have to pay you until the owner pays me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's pay when paid.
Here on Grindset, we're learning about pay when paid.
I learned something today.
Yeah. Check it out. Pull up one of those contracts.
So when you get paid, that's when you're obligated to pay your subcontractors.
That's when I am contractually required to pay my contractors.
In 30 days or on demand?
No.
After you get paid.
So it's typically pay when paid. Once I receive the money, I have up to 7 days to pay you.
Okay. 7.
You know, it all
varies.
Right.
It all varies. It could be
5
5 days. It could be 7 days. It could be a week.
Yep.
You know, but that's all written into these contracts. See, because Jarrett and I, when we got back in the industry, we didn't just jump straight into general.
Yep.
We actually subbed. So we subbed under some of the larger general contractors. And so, you know, sometimes they'll negotiate that term with you. A lot of times they won't. You know, and guys and girls, contracts are always negotiable. Just ask for it. If they say no, then you know it's no. But you should at least ask for it.
That is definitely
at least ask for it.
Right.
Like,
At least ask for it.
That is definitely a major key alert.
Like,
but what I want, so you talk about managing cash flow, but in the GC space, in the construction space, you also have to manage process and you manage people. So Jarrett, talk about how you do that.
So, you know, in essence, what we do is we pay close attention to who we hire. When you're managing people, you want to give responsibility to people that can handle responsibility.
Okay.
So when we're managing people, I'm looking to hire people that I don't have to always look over the shoulder.
Right.
Per se, when we're looking at project managers, let's start all the way back up at the top when we're looking at project managers. Aside from Jonathan and myself, because we do project manage ourselves, we have 2 other project managers that actually work for us.
Okay.
So we delegate responsibility to those guys. And when we're looking for those guys, we're looking for them to have skills like time management.
Okay.
They need to have experience in managing contracts. They need to have experience in managing the flow of contractors on projects.
Right.
Once you leave there, then you got to move down to your superintendents.
Yep.
The business is so busy now.
Mm-hmm.
It is so busy and it's so fast paced that we don't have a lot of younger guys that's looking to come into the business to take over superintendent roles of the younger guys. So that's one of the things that we're actually facing is finding people that's actually able to manage projects on the project management level and on the superintendent level. Right now, we have a superintendent working for us that's about, how old is Tommy? 71 years old.
Okay, still young.
Still young. Listen. And he's still young. Like, you see how my eyes look and how I'm moving?
Yeah.
And it's just hard to find those people.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I'm hiring people and when I'm looking for people to hire, I'm looking for leaders.
Have you ever thought about kind of a succession planning, like creating your own internship program to prepare people to step up in those roles?
It's something that we've thrown around. It's something that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Although Jonathan and Jarrett and Castle Black are doing well.
Yeah.
There are still some things that we're still trying to get our hands around.
Okay.
We are still a small company. I know people see us and they see us in some media outlets.
Oh, yeah. You're making money, big money.
So, and I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because I'll be very honest. I struggle with that myself, but I've learned I have to groom people to be what I want them to be. I want
people out there in podcast land to know that Castle Black is making money.
Okay.
Jonathan and Jarrett are not making money.
Major key alert.
And the other major key, though, I said intern.
Right.
Interns.
So,
Cynthia, pay interns. Okay.
Yeah. I
can't pay interns. It's all about life experience. But let Jarrett finish, please.
Yeah. We've looked at hiring interns. We've looked at hiring college students, fresh out of college.
Minimum wage.
Actually, we have two guys that one. Hunter graduated from Mississippi State, and we brought him on.
Okay.
And we
Carlton.
Yeah, Carlton was already out, and we put him over on this. Well, we put both of those guys over on the St. Jude project. In a nutshell, when we're looking to hire people, when we're looking to bring people on, we're really looking for guys that want to be in the construction industry. The business is, guys, listen, the business is great and the money is good. So I employ anybody, man or woman, that wants to be in the construction industry in any form. Don't shy away from it.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely hard work.
Yeah.
And the money is there. I promise you it's there, because if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be in it.
Okay.
And you can afford that fancy hat, huh?
Yeah.
I wish they could see it. Okay, look, but I'm going to close us out, but the HR person in me wants to implore you to create your own in-house job fair, to create an internship pipeline, go back to JSU,
absolutely,
Tennessee State, just something so you can start grooming these guys that have no clue of the possibilities for them. Yeah. But on that note, what's next for Castle Black? What's coming up in the future?
So what's next for Castle Black Construction, Castle Black Incorporated? Jonathan and I are pursuing a lot of opportunities in the federal space.
Okay.
With Jonathan's career and service in the Army, we've had the opportunity to get a lot of certifications that most contractors don't really try and go after. A lot of contractors do, but in our area, I don't think there are a lot of contractors that go after federal jobs. So. Even in the federal space, we're capable of expanding our business around the world.
Nice.
So we've looked at projects in Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Texas, California. You name it, we've looked at it. We've had the opportunity to do a few federal jobs, and we're looking to expand on that. One other area that we're also looking to expand in is in the medical space.
Memphis is perfect for that.
Memphis is perfect for it. Jonathan and I have been fortunate enough to be a company in Memphis that has been able to do service for St. Jude. St. Jude has been probably the biggest. Well, not probably. St. Jude is our biggest client.
Shout out to St. Jude.
Congratulations.
So if someone at St. Jude's calls us and say, "Hey, come patch a hole in the wall," we don't care what it calls. We're gonna go do it. We have some more opportunities coming up with St. Jude as well. I'm not at liberty to talk about those at the moment, but they've been really, really helpful to Castle Black and helping Castle Black grow to what it is now. So those are some of the things that we're looking to do. Those are some of the spaces that we're looking to expand our business in, and we look to be close to a $100 million company within the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think it's not possible. It is definitely possible. So we're growing and we're looking to expand. And with that, I'll let Jonathan add on to it.
Well, I mean, you pretty much said it all.
Well, one thing Jonathan, you touched on this earlier. A question I love to ask in the last segment: what's the best advice you've ever gotten? So you kind of implemented and talked about that earlier, but I'd love to hear from Jonathan and Jarrett. What's just for people that are listening that are thinking about being entrepreneurs, or they may have a business, but it's not really thriving, what would you tell them?
One of the first things that I would tell them is don't be afraid of risk.
Okay.
I hear a lot of people saying that they want to get in business. They want to be a general contractor. But guys and girls, being in business takes a lot of risk. You know, you have to be able to and willing to put yourself out on the line. And when I say that, I mean like putting your money up, putting your credit up. You know, you have to be able to risk it all. You know, if you want something, you got to be able to push yourself out there and put yourself out there for it. Also, one other thing, and I kind of talked about this earlier, but, you know, I just got to hit it again because this is so near and dear to me. Like, guys, don't try to move too fast. I see it a lot.
Oh, I made that mistake.
Don't try to move too fast.
Yeah.
Like, by all means, please don't. Again, like in this business, it could really hurt you big time. It could hurt you big. So take your time, grow at a moderate pace. You know, don't see Castle Black and see that you know that these guys. I look all the time. I want to be like y'all. Well, look, take your time and do it. Like, don't jump too fast. Pace yourself.
It's great advice.
Yeah, one piece of advice that I would like to offer up is to make sure that you build relationships. One of the misconceptions, and I'm going to say this, one of the misconceptions that African Americans shy away from is not building relationships with people that don't look like us.
I love that.
You have to build relationships with everybody, not just us. If you think you're going to make $5 million, $10 million just by doing business with us, you're sadly mistaken. You have to do business with everybody, you know, and go and be a part of these different organizations, Minority Contractors Association, Contractors Association, NRA, all different types.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it. NRA.
Okay.
Go be a part of every organization that you love. Like,
right.
And I said NRA is
you guys
because I love guns and I love to shoot and I hunt and I do all those different type of things.
Right.
So, you know, join those associations and build relationships. And it's not, you know, because I even tell my son this, and he's just in high school. But I said, hey, son, build a relationship with your teacher.
Right.
You know, I said, you know, build a one-on-one with your teacher, because if you need a little bit of help and they like you, they give you a little nudge.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
Now so, I'm going to end this on a lighter note, right? So we got twins on the show. We didn't ask any questions about twins, right? So what's one thing that you both can do, individually really well that the other can't?
That's a really good question.
Okay, well, you know, I don't know, man. You know, we're kind of tit for tat, to be honest. But, you know, when it comes to the business side, I guess I'm just a little bit more savvy when it comes to getting the paperwork and the finance stuff done. But on the flip side, even though I'm the president, Jarrett is a better public speaker than me.
Okay.
So, you know, when it comes to things like that, you know, sometimes I'll just say, hey, look, man, you go on and do that. Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, how we, you know, do it.
Yeah.
Bounce out each other.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people like to ask which one of y'all is the mean twin. So
the mean twin? What is that? What?
Yeah. You know, there's always a nicer person.
So who is the meaner twin?
I'm the meaner twin. You know,
Jarrett.
You know, there have been several
the one that likes to hunt. Go ahead.
No. See, whoa, I mean,
kidding.
No. You know, so you know,
we both hunt though. So
yeah,
I'm
both
kidding.
of us hunt, right? Yeah. You know, but you know, there's been times, you know, we've had disputes, you know, in our business. John and hey man, look, just chill, just go over there and I'll handle it. You know, so and sometimes everybody has those little moments, you know, where they blow their cool. I think I blow my cool more than Jonathan. So.
Yeah, Jarrett definitely blows off faster. But when it comes to dealing with subcontractors, like there have been times where we had to play the good cop, bad cop,
right?
Just to, you know, get something solved.
Yeah.
So you know.
Y'all definitely out here solving problems. So now listen, before we leave, where can we find more information about Castle Black Construction?
Okay, so you can find more information about Castle Black Construction at www.castleblack.inc.com. You can also reach us on the telephone at 901-443-0151.
What's that number again?
Again, that number, 901-443-0151. I'm going to give their website again also, www.castleblack.inc.com.
What about social media?
We're also on social media, Castle Black Inc. You can find us on Facebook there. You can also find us on Twitter.
Listen, you guys did excellent. I've learned so much, especially about bonding and handling the finances in the construction industry, right? Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not.
It's hard. It takes money, but you guys are doing well, and you have plans to do even better in the future.
The biggest takeaway for me was knowing when to take a step back with your company, knowing when it's time to rebrand, learning to diversify your portfolio and learn the skill set. So I think this was a valuable show to a lot of different entrepreneurs. So thank you guys for being here.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Listen, I hope you enjoyed Jonathan and Jarrett as much as I did. They really seem to have a great grasp on both the industry and their business. And throughout the conversation, I just pulled out a lot of major keys. And I'm just going to go down the list. Cash is king. Don't jump too big too fast. And that was re-emphasized. Don't grow too fast. And you can hear that can take you out of business. And these guys got that advice early. They're sticking to it and they're doing well. Spread your business across multiple projects. If you do $1 million job and you mess up, that could be your business. But if you do 5 $200,000 jobs, you have some margin for error there. And then pay close attention to who you hire. I know you want to hire friends and family, but hire someone who knows what they're doing. This is your baby. This is your business. The next is hire responsible people and allow them to be responsible. And just because your business is making money does not mean the owners are making money, especially in the beginning. I can't emphasize that enough. Just because the company is making money doesn't mean the owners are making money. They have overhead, they're paying people. Business isn't like personal. And lastly, and most importantly, build relationships with everyone. Not just people of the same race, creed, or gender. If you're in business, it's critically important to build relationships with everyone.
And I was very inspired by Jonathan and Jarrett. Just an amazing interview. And I've decided to find a quote actually by a man today. So we have the quote that says, "Rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine," by Mario Fernandez. And so in listening to their story, what I really grasped was that, your business can take a downturn. The economy can change, business can change, but what are you going to do about it? Are you going to disband and sulk, or are you going to find out how you can better your skills, better your business? And so I love that in 2013, Jonathan and Jarrett came back together. They rebranded. They built this amazing company that's just going to continue to grow year after year.
And I'm looking forward to their growth because Jonathan and Jarrett displayed some great business acumen on this show, and I appreciate the education that they provided us. And this episode could have been an hour or 2 hours long. We definitely have to get those guys back. You've been listening to Grindset, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we'll see you next episode.
Grindset, executive producer Epicenter. Grindset is directed, produced, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.